Hey guys, welcome to day 4 of our Mern Bootcamp. So in our previous days, what we did was we created all the APIs that we needed for our user authentication, like sign up, login, then in products, post, update, getting all the products, and also in orders, post and get. Correct? So now we'll see how we can deploy our complete Node.js app to Heroku so that we get an HTTPS URL rather than doing it in localhost. And we can use this URL to fetch data anytime, and also we'll be able to uh, connect it to our front end as well. Correct? So now let's get started. So before getting started, let's go ahead and log into our MongoDB Atlas. I'm not a robot. So over here in our MongoDB Atlas, let's sign in. So why we are doing it, I'll tell you in a while. But let's just go ahead and do this. Okay. So we'll start off from here. This is my mail ID that I'm using. So it's asking me to enter my email address. Okay, fine. So we'll talk about it later, but let's go ahead and see if we can deploy our app. So we'll start off with Heroku login. Over here in Cloud Application Platform, I have some of them created, so I'll just start off with a new one. Create new app, click on create new app. Provide an app name like Mern. If that app name is not available, you'll not be able to give it. Okay, so I'm just giving Mern Bootcamp 20, and then I'll just click on create app. So go ahead with this process, guys, and also download and install the Heroku CLI, which is over here. So if you are gonna download this, you will be provided with these things. So yeah, um, first of all, for Windows, if you are using Windows, use 64-bit installer, and similarly for Mac and Ubuntu, these things. So go ahead and download these, guys. So once you have downloaded your CLI, and now you can see I can connect to my um, MongoDB Atlas cluster. So I'll just go to network access, and over here what I did was I edited the IP address and I added all IP address. You'll see here add access from all IP address. So you can add that so that when you deploy it, you don't have to worry about the issue where your deployed version is not able to fetch this particular cluster. Okay, so we'll do that first, and now we are seeing we get steps right over here. You can see multiple steps are here. Like you have to go ahead and do Heroku login. So let's just go ahead and see where it is. Yeah, over here in our API, we'll write Heroku login. It's gonna prompt us to open a window. So just click enter, and it will prompt you to open a window, and then when you click on login over here, it will provide you with logging in done, logged in as Sonu0774. Now next step that we have over here is we'll just go ahead and write git init. So we'll just start off with git init, initialize an empty git repository, and then use this Heroku git remote, and it's gonna add that particular remote to our Git file that we have. No, before doing the git add and everything, guys, first of all, what we need to do is go to index.js and see over here we have written port, correct. So this particular thing will work fine. So let's go ahead and do git add dot. Don't use small letter here, guys, because then it will not connect. We'll just do git add dot and then copy this and over here let's just write initial commit and then the last one is git push Heroku master. So once you push it, it's gonna start building your resources. So I think we have missed one thing. We have to add that. There should be a proc file, and I guess we missed that. So because of which we'll have to do it once more. Just git add dot and everything. Okay. Now if you see here, guys, if we come here and in overview, if you see, there is no dyno, like there is no process itself. So what we have to do here, guys, is we have to go here and add one thing called as just write proc file, proc file, okay? And in proc file, what we need to write is what is the URL that we are gonna use, okay? So what is the process that we are using? So let's go ahead and write this in our proc file. So what is the process that is gonna start your complete this thing? Okay. So we'll go ahead and do this and then we'll do again git add, git commit. We'll just write proc file and then git push Heroku master. See now it's started installing dependencies and modules and then it will also create that particular process itself. Now let's see if we get anything in our dyno or not. See, it's again showing npm start. That's fine. We'll try to check that by doing Heroku logs. So once we do Heroku logs, so over here in npm, it basically is taking it from npm start. So also in package.json, let's go ahead and write this script colon equal to node or start as node index.js and just do a comma. Okay. Now again, let's go ahead and add that in commit. Let's just write package JSON file added. So start script. So this is how you can debug, guys, that what is the issue that you are getting, and that will help you out. Git push Heroku master. So it will again start building your resources, and now let's go ahead and see in our Heroku logs what is coming in. So over here, let's write minus minus tail. So it's gonna give you the last. So over here, see, we got this message, MongoDB connected successfully, listening on port. We don't have to worry about the port. Now, what was the URL that we had? Let's go ahead and see that. When we deployed, this was the URL, right? HTTPS Mon bootcamp slash. So now in our collection that we created, let's go ahead and check if we write this, what's gonna happen, right? So before that, let me see what else we can do. Yeah, looks fine, right? So let's go ahead and click on sign up, and we have the body. So email password, let's change the email to password to A11, and this also, let's change that, and let's go ahead and do a sign up. See, message created. You can see in the logs as well. Same thing, same thing. Post path, status returned, user is created. That log is also getting printed, and your whole request.body is also getting printed here, right? So this means uh, this our complete APIs are basically deployed in our Heroku server. Okay. So now this is one process. We'll cross verify whether our data went in or not. So let's pause and let me open up Compass for you. Instead of having Compass, we can check here as well, right? So let's go ahead and not this. Let's click here on our cluster bootcamp and let's see in collections. Correct? One second, it's gonna load. It's retrieving our data, and let's go ahead and see users, right? So we see right now itself we added Sonu KR7 A11 A11. So yeah, it's doing that. Let's go ahead and check one more API that we have to use today. So over here, let's just copy this. There are different ways of doing it. You can add a variable and use that variable also over here. So I'm not using that right now. We are just taking it simple. Okay. So let's go ahead and see in body. If I write this and over here, if I write this, and let's just save this and let's see what happens when we do this. See, we got the data returned. So our post user sign up and user login is working fine. So that is pretty much a validation that yeah, we have deployed our app on our APIs on Heroku. Okay. So now we'll start off with React, but before that, you guys just test it out. We'll take you just pause the video here, and then I'll open up our React project, how to create our React project, and then we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, cool. So we are back, guys. So what we did was we created a new folder and we opened that folder using VS Code. So let's go ahead and start. What are we gonna do today? So we'll be starting our React project, cleaning it up. There are some dependencies that we don't need that React provides. And also on top of this, we'll be creating sign up and log in, and on top of this, there will also be will what Bootstrap will be using, or what is the library we'll be using for styling, which is basically Material UI. If you would have referred to my last React Bootcamp, then in that we used Material UI, and also we used our own custom styling. But for this, yeah, we'll be using custom styling. But for now, let's go ahead and use Material UI. And in that case, guys, let's get started. Also, we'll be using something called as React Router DOM, which is similar to node routes, but here we route on our front end. Like you see those URLs, right? Slash sign up, slash login. So what should be opened when we do something like that? So yeah, we'll be doing that. So for getting started, let's start with npx create react app dot slash, and let's just click enter. It's gonna fetch all the dependencies it needs, and it's gonna create a complete file for you. So yeah, it's gonna take a while to create this, so just wait for a while. So once all the dependencies are installed, it will just give you a message called as happy hacking. So let's go ahead and it start, like whether our application is starting or not. Let's check that. So we did npm start, and let's see. So it's gonna start a development server for you guys, and it will be on 3000 port. So yeah, see. So this is pretty much the thing, guys. Once we start our project, you have to just check once that it is running fine or not. And if it is running fine, that means yeah, we are done with this process. So let's just do Control C here. Let's just let it be here, and let's go here and start our cleaning process, guys. So first of all, we go to app.css, and let's see what is there in it. So what we have to do is we do Control A, delete, save. So all the file inside this is deleted. App.test.js, we don't need it right now. So let's delete this. Setup test.js, we don't need it. Let's delete it. We don't need this logo as well. So let's go ahead and delete this. And let's see what else is there here. Web Vitals, you can just have it if you want. Index.css, we'll see how to change this as well. Index.js looks fine, right? So let's go ahead and see in app.js. This logo is not here. We haven't imported any logo itself. Okay. So now let's also do this. Toggle word wrap. Okay. And let's go ahead and remove all this header that we have. And let's just write h1. Hi, I am React app. Let's go ahead and check whether that is working or not, because we have deleted a lot of things here. it is gonna open new tab every time, guys. So see, we have created our first, we have made changes and we have created this, right? So if you see here, there is a margin over here on from top, right? But we don't need that. So what do we do in that case, guys? We go here in our index.css and we just write star margin 0. So this helps us in creating a complete custom app itself so that we are not dependent on any CSS that is being provided beforehand. Okay. So hi, I am React app. So this looks fine, right? So what we discussed we are gonna do today is we are gonna be creating sign up and login. Once we have cleaned it up, we'll be creating sign up and login. But before doing that, let's see what Material UI is and how we can install its dependencies. So over here, if you see Material UI React components, so how do we install it? We install it via npm install @material UI core. So let's go ahead and do that. npm I @material UI / core and let's click enter. So it's gonna install all the core dependencies that we have. So once by the time this is getting installed, let's go ahead and do something. We'll create a folder inside src called as components. And inside components, we'll go ahead and create two components, which will be signup.js and login.js. Okay, so these will be the two components that we want to create. And what else do we need? We talked about something called as router, right? So how do we use router? So over here, let's start by adding a dependency. Over here we talked about router. Let's see this toggle world wrap. And here, right, what is the dependency for router? It is mm, React router DOM. So for this, let's go ahead and do this. npm install React router DOM and we'll be able to install this. And also we'll be using something called as Axios, guys. So we created our APIs, we know that, and now we want to link it to our front end. So how that will happen, we'll just write Axios is the dependency helping us in uh, calling APIs in React. Okay, so we'll install this as well. So we'll start off with npm I Axios and let's see. So now go ahead and let's go ahead and come here and let's just write RFCE, and if you have that shortcut with you, it's gonna help you out. Something you can download it via React snippets. So over here, if you go ahead and write React snippets, so over here, if you see ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native snippets, so you can install this. Okay, and when you do RFC, this complete thing is gonna come up. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and do H1 and write hi, I am sign up. Let's come back here. Hi, I am sign up. Okay, so we'll have this, and then similarly in login, let's go ahead and create this by using RFCE, and let's just write H1, hi, I am login. Okay, so now I think we are done, but the most important thing is we want these things to come here, right? In our this particular area so that we can route. So this is our main thing, similar to index.js. Over here also index.js is there, but that takes completely app into play. So um, what we are gonna do over here is we are gonna first write so it forgets this. Okay, so let's just write this over here, and yes, lint is giving us some error, but that's okay, guys. It's something that we have provided, so because of that only. Okay, so now over here we will start with browser. We'll import from something called as React Router DOM. So what are the dependencies that we need to import from React Router DOM? Those are browser router as router, comma route, comma switch, and then there is one more called as redirect. Okay, so we'll just import these from our React Router DOM, and we will also import all our files. So over here, let's just write component import. Okay, so let's go ahead and import our components. So import login from dot slash components slash login, and import sign up from dot slash component slash sign up, right? So we have imported our dependencies and everything. So let's go ahead and start using. So we'll get rid of this, and what we should write, we'll talk about it. Okay. So we'll start off with something called as router on top. Okay. So we'll write like this, router, and inside this, we'll have a parameter called as switch. Okay. So there is a router and there is a switch, and then we'll write our route paths. So we'll just write route path is equal to slash sign up, and our component which we have is equal to sign up, right? So not actually like this. One second. So what we did over here, guys, we changed some of our ways of routing. So over here we did route path is equal to slash sign up, and then we provided that component, then route path slash login, and similarly for route path slash, and I think this will be helpful. So if we do npm start, and so always remember, guys, we are you writing this at the last so that our so that it doesn't coincide with this, and it's not gonna load that particular thing as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and write slash sign up. Okay, so it gave you hi I am sign up, but if you write it on top, it will give you hi I am sign up and hi I am React app. So always remember to write your path is equal to slash at the end, And similarly, if we go ahead and do slash login, so how these things are coming in, so it's going inside this and it is checking, okay, what is there in this div. So there is hi, I am sign up in sign up, and then in login, hi, I am login. So yeah, based on that, it is able to import what we need, right? Now, now we'll start using our React app, okay, and we'll start creating sign up and login. So there are certain templates that are available, guys. So if you go to here and let's just do full screen of this and let's write login template React material UI. So we'll be using that template itself, okay. So over here, if you see, there is this code that helps you in creating that particular uh, so what we did, we came here, we went to okay fine, what do we need? We need a sign in page. So we go ahead and just click here, go to source code, and then in our sign in.js we see this, we can copy and paste this. So let's go ahead and copy this completely. It doesn't have that export function, so let's go ahead and see if this works. Function copyright is there. Sign, so we have this function sign up, so this should be sign up, right? And similarly, let's go ahead and check. Let's just do a full screen of this and see, we just imported code over here, and so that we don't have to do a lot of changes, but there is some dependencies which is not there. These are the dependencies, guys. So there are certain icons which have been used here, but we don't have those icons, so we have to use those icons. The Skilla terminal is, it was not responding. So just go ahead and write npm install at the rate I for icons. This part is the thing that you need to paste here in npm install. Npm I, come here, copy this, and let's just paste this by doing a right click on your mouse. So we install this and then we'll check. So what will happen is the complete layout of this you can get. So that's why we are not basically bothered about the CSS and everything here, because we got a sorry, we got a complete styling that we need. So we can use that easily if we want, correct? So yeah, but now we'll start off with binding data and doing all the things that we need. Okay, so email address and password are the two fields here, but we need a couple of more fields, so we'll talk about that. Okay, so we got that dependency installed, guys. So let's go ahead and write npm start and check whether that change has occurred or not. Okay, so we are in 3000, so it's gonna say hi, I'm React app. But when we do sign up, see, we got this complete screen, right? So now we all know that we need to change our text fields here and provide certain things. So for now, guys, this will be pretty much it for today. And when we'll come back to in our next session, we'll talk about certain things. So for now, what we did, we imported a template, we copied the complete code from there, and we got this beautiful sign up, right? So sometimes you don't have to worry about creating the complete UI. You can always use this and then bind your data into that, right? So see, it is completely responsive in your mobile, and then if you change this, it's responsive, and it's responsive now as well. So on that note, guys, this will be pretty much it for today, and we'll see you in our next lecture. Okay, thank you, guys.